Sabrina Ward is going places, and that can only mean good things for her company, Ward Commercial Design. Her company was recently selected as the design winner for the coveted Steamspray Hill development project, and they've got a lot of work to do in order to deliver on their proposal. For years, she looked south from her window at the wide-open Steamspray Hill part of town and wondered what would ever become of the open parcel of land. And now, she had her answer. With Wood Vision Furniture relocating from Misty River into Birch Bay, the city was looking to her firm to deliver an efficient solution that wouldn't become an eyesore to the residents of nearby Riverside Heights and Sandbar Shores. While they were certainly excited, Sabrina and her team were wondering if she'd bitten off more than they could collectively chew. So one morning, she called her team together at their modest offices, and Sabrina delivered the pep talk of her life. She reminded them that they'd been awarded this project because they had all demonstrated skills in a variety of disciplines that included architectural design, urban planning, and financial management. Immediately, the mood changed. The fire was back, and the team dove into their project with renewed energy. Hey, good morning, good day, good afternoon, and good evening. I am your host, City Sculptor. Welcome back to Birch Bay, episode number 8. It's great to have you back. Say, if you haven't had a chance, go check out episode number 7. That was where we did our Ashbury Mills Wedding and Event Center. Really cool build, and love the way it turned out. Go take a look, leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't like it. Would love to hear your feedback. Okay, so today, this is the canvas that we have today, Steamspray Hill. And if you recall, Steamspray Hill was the project that was awarded to Sabrina Ward and her company, the Ward Commercial Design Company. We're looking at it right now from the rooftop of one of the buildings in Sandbar Shores, overlooking Riverside Heights. And if you recall, the challenge was to make sure that we build out a factory and industry district with an eye for appeal. It's got to look pleasing to the eye. So, sounds like a tough challenge. I hope I'm up to the challenge. I hope you are too. So stick around and let's do this. Okay, for our first order of business, we're going to want to establish a connection. A couple connections, actually. One via road and another via rail. And so we're going to do that just starting off by coming over to this highway road and just drawing in a nice long service access road. Let's just go here. And this is one of those medium industry roads. And then I want to connect I'll show you this asset here. This is the warehouse with railway connection. We're going to drop one of those in this space here. But I'm going to do so down at an elevation that's down closer to the train track here, with the ultimate goal of dropping it down so it's kind of a little bit lower so that this big road can elevate and go over it or the access to it and over the rail line, over this rail line, and then continuing on down, or I should say up north into the district. So let's see what we can do. Okay, we'll start by grabbing this elevation. Let's use this one here. And we're going to drive that right on into our space here. We want to get that up here. I don't want to attack the neighborhood just to the south, but I want to get it in there quite a ways to create a nice big area for us to drop that rail warehouse in. And I also need to have need to have service roads going in there as well. So let's clear off a nice big space. And then I will grab this one-way industrial road. Yep. And then come out, let's call it 10, from the existing neighborhood, which should put that road on level ground. We'll take it all the way up to this node here, and then we'll just put it off in this direction for now, just as a placeholder. And then we can grab our warehouse with railway connection and put that right into that space there, and it fits in really nicely. Yeah. And then we'll grab the rail line. See how that comes out at a 45-degree angle? This is such a funky asset to work with because it's just not it's not normal. That I don't know why they did that angled approach, but we're gonna work with it. So I'm going to start over here. We're going to grab this kind of free-form curve, and then we're going to grab a more defined. Yeah, we'll do the same free-form curve again. See if we can snake that in to work there. So let's come here, freeform, and then we're going to go curve track right into there. So it at least has a semi-organic look coming off of that main rail line that's going out to the harbor. Okay, the next asset we're going to place comes from our airports tab, and that one is the airport cargo train station. We're going to want to put that in this space here, but before we do that, I need to make sure that I get clearance coming off of this road here. So just for giggles, I'm going to take and create a little bridge that comes across here, just so I have something to draw a line from. All the secrets that you get behind the scenes, right? We're just going to run that out here, something along that line, just so we know where that big road's going to be. And then I can delete these, delete those temporary bridges. And then I also want to match the elevation of this station over here, and bring that in over here as well, so that we're kind of down, down a little bit closer to the existing train lines. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to drag that surface down a little bit, because what I'm going to want to do is run a bridge, a really nice. I was thinking about using that American. Which one is it? It's the American 4-lane truss bridge. Yeah, and have that span kind of over this area here, and then continue on down over there, and have all these rail lines dropping in underneath it. So hopefully that'll look, satisfy the onlookers from the from the other side of the freeway, and make sure that they don't have an eyesore village sitting up there. So we've got that in place. We've got the train leveled down to where we want it to be, and now we're going to grab this industrial one-way road. And I think what I'll do is I'll run it off of. Let's see here. We want to make sure that it comes in somewhere in this area here. I can't get it too close to that edge though. Let's try this angle here and see what we come up with. If we don't love it, we can always move it. Yeah, see, that's kind of cool. And if I can get it up there just far enough, yeah, I can always smooth that out over there as well. So I think we can get enough elevation to get up and over this. If not, well, we'll move it later. But here's the plan: is now we can grab this height and then run this guy down into here, right? And then we'll take our train lines and we'll connect those in. So we're going to have 2 train lines, one to each side. We're going to start by creating a second train line and have it bend into there. And now we've got our 2 train lines. This one can bend. Let's see, where's that intersection point going to be? Somewhere down around here. Oops, nope, that's the first one. That's the one we want. And then this one can do the same. We'll come out here. We'll hit that point and we'll bend on in. And now we've got a number of rail lines going there. We're going to turn that one off too, because I don't want to get the crime and all that stuff coming in there. Yeah. So I think I like the way that that's playing out. That gives us kind of this heavy industrial rail line look and feel coming in, and I can detail it up and put in some additional rail lines to bring out some weight in this space. But I think this is going to accomplish our task. Now that we added in our rail assets, we're going to start building out our road that kind of connects all the way through the district. And I've chosen this American 4-lane truss bridge road to come up and over through this space. And I want to create a nice big arch that spans over our rail yards here. 1, 2, let's go. And so we're trying to create this big bridge, big decorative bridge that the folks from the other side of the road can look at without having to stare at cargo yards. And hopefully this spans all the way across. Let's see. I think we'll have to noodle with this, but 1, 2, 3. Let's see here. And then it can start making its way back down. I think that's going up a little. One, two, three. That should be good. And then it's starting to make its way back down. Oh, look, well, that's going to be too sharp. But we have this nice long truss span with these rail lines running underneath it. And we're going to be definitely coming in here and detailing out with some additional concrete and other assets and so forth. But again, if you're looking at it from our penthouse suite over here, it's a long decorative bridge as opposed to seeing just a ton of railway cargo stuff. So I think it's going to serve the purpose of bringing some, I don't know, a facelift into the industrial area. The first thing I'm going to want to do is I want to connect our rail warehouse and our cargo train station into our main thoroughfare, into our main roads through the district. And so we've got to make some connections here. We're going to start with over here. We'll grab our small 4-lane industry road. We're just going to run that down. We'll just go down 10. Then we're going to switch to our small industry road. We're going to run that out so it runs even with that one way. We're going to connect that one way in. All right, so we got something that we're starting with there. And then the next step that we want to do is we want to connect this road here across the way. We're going to span this railroad track and then ultimately connect it in with this big major road over here. And in doing so, I want to grab my terrain tools, start with my shift terrain, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to dig some deep holes. And the reason I'm doing that is because when I span this little railroad track here, I want it to fire up I guess it's a truss bridge mechanic from the industry road because it's really kind of cool. It has this industrial look and feel about it, which I think plays in really, really well with this space. So we'll go back to this road here. We've got our guidelines turned on, and we're going to come out to, let's see here. Well, first of all, I want to bring the level up. So we got to get up to about the same height as, not quite there. There we go. And then I just want to come up to that node, maybe back it off 1 or so, and then span this. Yeah, see, if I drag this out 10 to that spot over there, and then it stays pretty level. I mean, if we really wanted to do this, we could come in here and level that out just a little bit more, just to try and create a little more space. Now let's drag that span across. Let's see, it was there, -1, come back across, take a 10, and there. See, now that's nice and level. It's it's pretty close to level with the surrounding terrain behind it, and it creates this really cool little effect of a nice span. And then we'll come back in here with our level terrain tool and just grab this elevation right here, and we'll just fill that right back in. And we'll do the same thing on this side. And so see what we've accomplished here is that we've created a nice little truss bridge that goes over the rail line without getting too high up in the air. And then that allows us to come back in here really nice and neat like and reconnect. Let's see, how far up is this? Yeah, it's really high up. Let's see. What is it about? 1, 2, 3. Is it 4 up? Well, we're gonna assume that it's about 4, so we'll come down 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to come down so that 1, 2, and then down into there. All right, so let's see what that looks like. That should create a nice little gentle rise coming up there. And it's not perfectly level. If we had move it, maybe it would be a little, but not bad, not bad at all. And then we're going to take that road and we're going to extend that across here. I want to keep it elevated a little bit. Coming over the train station because I don't want it to look kind of funny diving down too close to that train station. But we can, there's a gentle slope down to about there and then bring that out here. Well, no, see, I think what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to try and keep that level if we can. Let's bring that back out here again. Well, that looks a little more level. And then when we bring this one out, we can bring that down to earth. And now we've got this nice kind of level looking span that comes across, and we should be able to tie that nicely back into this main road. And so I think it has a really kind of a cool effect. So let's figure out where we're going to tie this in. There's a node right there. We could do that. Gets it close to Chestnut Boulevard, and it also, Yeah, it gives us good access. Maybe. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's pin it in there. Come out. Maybe 150. And let's see here. I just come out, say to there, and then diagonal in. Does that look all right? I think it looks all right, and it's very functional. It connects to this road right as it, reaches its leveling off point. It also allows us to have some interesting assets in here if we wanted to, so that's not bad. Kind of like the way that looks. Okay, so let's go about tying in this other rail yard into our main road. I think the best way to tie this one in is to just keep it simple. We're going to want to come in here and just connect there, connect there. You got that big, huge pillar in the way, so I think we have to be really smart with how we approach this, which rules me out. Let's see here. We're going to have to get around that pillar, and then we're going to want to tie that up into this space up here. So this could get a little messy. Let's just see how this turns out. We're going to bring this down to... What if we bring that to there? Because then that allows us to connect a gravel road out here and drop in some extra industry along there. And then if we slope this out, so we're up here and then we bring this up so that ties in nicely. Can we do that at a respectable angle? I mean, does that look okay, or should we bring a curve in there? Maybe what we'll do is we'll come off of here, we'll come down, and then we'll curve that in. I kind of like the curve. There we go. Yeah, I think that looks better. Then that gives us the access to come down into here, make our loop with these train stations, and then scoot right back out the same way we came from. And so with that, we've got access now to our 2 train stations. Okay, next we're going to turn our attention to this part of the district where we're going to put in 2 factories. One is going to be our modular housing factory, and the other one is going to be our lemonade factory. And there's a pretty big space out here, but these are also very large factories. And we also have to connect this major road all the way down to that couplet on the other side of the district. So it's going to be a tight squeeze. We'll get started, though. Let's drop in. I want to come off of, this train line as kind of our guideline, our frame of reference, so to speak. And, I want to make sure that I leave enough room off of that train line and come down. Let's just put it, say, about there. And I want to make sure I have space there. Let's see if that housing factory fits in there. It does. It just kind of fits in there. And the idea there was to snug that up against the train line. And the reason I did that is because I wanted there to be, as you're zipping past on the train line, there's really not a whole lot of interest on that building, which is fine. And if you recall, we wanted to make sure that the eyesore of a factory was not really visible from, from the neighborhoods across the way. So we put the stuff that's of interest, some silos, some pretty trees, some containers on the side of the road that faces the highway and faces the residential stuff that's across the freeway. And in doing so, we've got this nice little space. I can come out 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's turn off our road guidelines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Yeah, let's just come down here. I don't know how far those go. And then come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come down again. And then I'm just going to drop in a couple of parking lots for that space. We'll just box that up. Boom and boom. And now we're nice and neat in that space. All right, so we've got the modular housing factory in. Next up comes the lemonade factory. And the lemonade factory, we're going to stick that into this space here. So let's do this. Let's start by going and checking out, where's this going to squeeze in? Did I really just say lemonade factory and squeeze? Man, this stuff writes itself. Let's see. Oops, that's the modular house. Yeah, so I think that probably fits in there. I don't know if we can. I don't know if we'd be able to get any closer to, say, down in here. Let's try it. I don't think that's going to fit, though. Oops. Oh, it does. Okay, so we can get in there nice and close, kind of tuck that down in there nice and neat like. Again, I'm trying to keep some of the cooler assets on the freeway side here, so we've got some interest. Because if you run around, well, but this is kind of cool too. You got the building name over here. I don't know. I might just spin that around, especially with all these parking lots and the little parking spaces and so forth. Yeah, let's do that. Let's spin that around. So we're going to have it come. It's going to run like that. And we'll bring that up there. And we'll take this. We'll just orient it the other way. And now you've got the Yaksu Energy sign over there. And I would imagine it'll be easier to access from this side as well. Cool. Now we've got our two factories in. Now comes the tricky part. We're going to connect those roads through. So let's see. Okay. We're going to have to come across here with this road. And then I want to start bringing this road across. Where's that going to connect up there? So is it possible? Yeah, I think we can. Crazy what I'm thinking here is we're going to have to dig in underneath this rail line right about here. I don't want to go too deep. So let's just kind of do this, and let's see, does that road fit under there yet? It might have to go a little deeper, but we'll see. Oh, so okay. This guideline comes all the way to here. It does fit. Look at that. Okay. So we can do that. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the idea. I think what I'll do is come back in here and keep this terrain as high as I can up here and just have it slope up. Will it work? Will it work? And of course, yes. Look at that. Beautiful. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll just trim that back. We'll take our terrain, bring it out a little bit, and have that come down. And then what I want to do is I want to change that road because it looks kind of funky with those industrial lines going through there. So let's grab 4 lanes with wide sidewalks, just see what that looks like. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. In fact, if we wanted to do that, we could do, we could just take a regular road that's flanked by trees. Is there such a thing? No, but we have one that's got trees that run down the middle. 4-lane decor with... we can't do that under the train track. We'll go with grass. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. And so now we've got a little interest there with a grass median road running through there. And we can connect our factories into our network system here. So, let me see if I can squeeze in some parking there too. We can. Now it's just a function of where do we want it to tie in. So I think we're probably going to want to run a road off of here, if we're able to. Yeah, just a regular industrial road. And, we'll continue it along this path, I think, so that we can drop in some buildings down along the freeway, connect in there. And then I can bring parking along this side over here. Yeah, that's probably going to be a good fit. We'll do that. We'll draw a path in through there. And then out in front here, yeah, we can just we can detail up, make it nice and pretty. And then this factory, we should probably have access come in maybe off of this main road. I think that would actually, we could create like kind of a grand entrance coming in. Of course, it won't work coming off the middle of it, but yeah, I think that's probably cool. We'll do like that. And I could even make it, a nice tree lined or tree. Yeah, I mean something pretty. All right, cool. So we've got that. And yeah, now we've got our whole district connected from one end down here all the way to the other end down over here. Yeah, very good. I like where we're going with this. Now it's time for our third and final factory. And that factory is going to be our furniture factory. And what I'd like to do is we're going to start by bring a road out from here. Let's just bring this out as far as it'll go for now and create a placeholder. And I want that furniture factory to be kind of close to this freeway. And so let's see, jump in here and grab furniture factory, right? And maybe right about there. Let's just see how that looks. Yeah, I like it, but I think I want to reorient it. Let's turn it around so that the badging, if you will, faces the freeway. And I say badging, I mean like this wood vision sign here faces the freeway. It's kind of a, that's a cleaner look, if you will, because again, we were trying to be respectful of the folks who lived across the way here so that they have kind of a nice, elegant look to their factory district. I don't want to create an eyesore. And we'll just box it up there with that road. And let's see here. Can we drop this road in across here? Sure, we can. And can we fit a medium warehouse in there? Let's see. It doesn't, but I'm okay with a small warehouse. And the small warehouse will be for the finished goods. The, what's it called? The factory, unique factory products. That's what we want. Because now we've got 3 factories, 1, 2, 3 in operation in this zone, and so you need a destination for those goods. So that sets up nicely. And then this factory requires planed timber and paper. We've got planed timber down here in our warehouse with railway connection. So we need a paper warehouse, and I think I want to put that maybe a small little paper warehouse coming off of this side here. Yeah, I think that would be just fine. So let's put paper in there. Oh, and one of the other things I really want to do here in this space, because I think you've got this nice little plateau sitting up above the rail lines. I want to use a trick that we've used in some of our other builds, which is to steal an industry space. We're going to drag that up over here. We're just going to paint that in like so, and then we'll erase. Don't tell anybody that we borrowed our industry space. And now we've got the logging, or I guess the lumber or timber industry in here. And I think, I don't know if we needed to do that. Yeah, I think we did. I think we needed to do that because what I want to do is I want to grab, let's see here. Let's grab a sawmill or 2 and see if those nestle in. Okay, all right, okay. That's all right. This is okay. This is fine. We're just going to run this road out here. And let's see, if we grab that sawmill again and I face it towards this road, yeah, that could be kind of a cool look. If we drop in a sawmill and then let's go back, and there was like a log yard. Yeah, a small log yard. We put that in there. We certainly should change that road to gravel. And then are there any other assets in that? Like let's see here. What is a sawmill, biomass pellet, engineered wood plant? What does that look like? Oh, that's pretty good size. That's pretty hefty. In fact, we might want to take this guy and slide him out to here. And then does that fit into that? Yeah, it sure does. Yeah, then you've got a little bit more interest going on there with that. Yeah, with the whole factory. The whole factory looks like it's maybe extending across the road here and into these other buildings. Yeah, so I like that. That's not bad. And then let's downgrade this to a gravel road. And we can come in here and center that so that, maybe it looks like it. Yeah, something like that. I don't want to get it too close to this and start tearing the ground, but I think that's pretty good. And we can drop in some trees here just to detail that up. So I think that takes good care of our furniture factory. We've got paper, we've got plain timber, and some some additional assets that make it look, I don't know, kind of more like a wood and timber industry sort of stuff. So that's great. I think we're in good standing there. And then over here, we need some additional warehouses as well, because this factory takes plain timber, which we have, plastics, glass, and metals. So we need to get those three in: plastics, glass, and metals. And then crops and glass. So we can share a glass and then crops. Okay. So I wonder if these guys will fit in. Let's say here. Let's turn on our road guidelines. Just find a node. We probably don't even need a node. We can just come right off the middle of this. And we'll come out 180. Okay, I'm just going to draw lines out here just for now for placeholders. And what did it say? It needed crops, because those get stored in a silo, and glass. So maybe what we'll do is we'll start with, did we say glass was our key warehouse that we need, because both of these two factories that are sitting close take glass. And then we can grab a large silo, put that in here. Yeah, another one maybe next to it. And then we're going to grab another couple warehouses, because we needed, I think it was plastics and metals. So let's do that. Let's go plastics, glass, metals. Okay. There. Now we've got our warehouses, and we can trim those roads off and make them nice and neat and tidy. We got the warehouses in place that will ultimately furnish these two factories. So yeah, I think we're in a good position here. This feels like a great position for a detailing time lapse. We've got a lot of work to do to fill in this space. We're going to probably paint in some industry buildings, but it's going to be kind of heavy on the some additional props and lots of concrete, and again, I want to make it an industrial feel without creating a big ugly eyesore for the residents of Riverside Heights and Sandbar Shores over here. So all right, well, let's dive into that time lapse, and we'll catch you after that. All right, welcome back from the time lapse. We're back at our penthouse perch overlooking the freeway and then on into the Steamspray Hill part of town. And I think this turned out really cool. If you recall, we had an objective to put in 3 factories, a bunch of industry, and not make it an eyesore. And I think our goals have been met. I think Sabrina will let me keep my job again for another day. All right, let's dive right in and take a look. So let's jump into our first warehouse build. And that was our factory. I said warehouse, but I meant factory. Our first factory build was our furniture factory. And we did a lot to bring in some of our lumber industry as well with our furniture factory so that it kind of created a self-contained area. You've got your raw materials, you've got your sawmill where you're carving up the lumber into planks. And you've got, a lot of the elements that you need right here in this space to build really great furniture. And then, of course, right across the way is our unique factory goods warehouse where as the furniture comes off the assembly line, it can roll right in over there. So let's continue on down to our next factory build, and that was our modular housing factory. And this one is a huge, huge building. But what we did was we took some of that airport apron and we drew in around here just to give it some greater definition because some of these larger assets really lack the defined edges that you'd like to see in a factory. And then we took this row of trees, which is already incorporated in the asset, and then we just extended that out with additional trees that were the same variety to create maybe it's a decorative element, but maybe it's somewhat of a functional element too. We don't know if how the modular home factory decided that they wanted to plant these trees and in the event that down the road they want to harvest those trees and incorporate them into builds. But as you look down through the parking lot and into the factory area, it's got a really cool, clean, contemporary vibe about it, and it nestles in really nicely between that high-speed rail line to our right and then the main industrial road coming through on our left side. So I like the way that turned out. Pivoting to go across the road here, we've got our lemonade factory, and that's another really big asset that we had to try and wedge in between the rail line and the freeway. And like the modular housing factory, we used some of those airport aprons and really kind of created some additional definition to that space. And we bordered it all up with this ore industry fencing that makes its way around because I thought it was a nice complement to what we had going on over there. We tucked our parking in on the side here, right next to the freeway. And then we added these 2 zoo parks in here because I really like what this did to the front entrance. It served to give this kind of more of like a campus feel for this big factory. And you see this a lot of times in larger factories where they have these nice outdoor spaces where they try to soften it, make it a little bit more inviting. And I think that turned out really nicely with some purple trees and so forth in there as well. Okay, let's turn our attention to just on this little rise here. And we dropped in our ore, one of our ore industry storage facilities, this big red warehouse. And I love the way that this thing sits on this ridge overlooking our harbor district. And it also ties in so well with some of these industry buildings that we put on the ridge. And you'll notice a mix of some of the old historicalized industry buildings with some of the new buildings, and that was kind of intentional. My thought was, let's tie in some of this newness that's going on in the harbor with some of the oldness that was going on over in Sturgeon Square, and have that also be a space that's in transition. But you've got some red hues and some red color tones that are in there that tied in really nicely with that big ore storage warehouse. And then, of course, you had a lot of your raw materials down in here. We had a couple grain silos we put in. We had to get some glass and glass and metal and I don't know, was it plastics? I think it was. Yeah, and those are all the raw materials that you need to keep those factories going. We dropped in a couple of tiny parks there right on the corner just to give it a nice little entrance feel. And so I think that turned out nicely, even though it's just really basic buildings. And then let's move on to the star of the show. The main attraction, if you will, is our big rail yard, and this turned out really cool. I wanted to create something in this space that had a massive presence but wasn't an eyesore. And I think we've accomplished that. We tucked in, or if you remember, our first rail warehouse building over here that's collecting all our planed timber. And then we had our nice airport rail yard that came in here. And then I took and added all this extra tracking around here and dropped in some of those airport apron concrete or, concrete blocks, and then framed it up with some gravel pathing, and then, dropped in some fencing and these big stadium lights. So in the evening, if you stick around to the highlight video, you'll see how well lit this is. It's just a massive presence, but because we used this, I think it's an American stone truss bridge, you've got these big stone pillars in here and this decorative iron, artwork, if you will, that forms these rails that are on the side, and it really masks a lot of what's going on back there. You go from being kind of a lot of hustle and bustle and could be grime, dirt, and filth, and then if you look at it from this vantage point, you really only see this beautiful span bridge that runs all the way across here. And so it softens up the space. Again, you get all these factories and such, and you get a lot of busyness with the trains running through here, but you don't see a lot of the clutter that's behind it. And so, that was a key element for the residents on this side of the freeways. They just didn't want it to look messy. All right, well, that wraps up the episode for today. Again, this was the Steamspray Hill episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. If you would, please leave us a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you didn't like it, give us a thumbs down. But by all means, leave us a comment. Tell us what you liked best about it. What was your favorite part of the build? Leave that in the comment section below. So, I'm going to bid you farewell for now. I hope to see you guys again real soon. And until then, good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.